Morning. It is Monday, and it is going to be a cold next 2 or 3 days. I think they're talking about it getting down to like 8 degrees. So I just got up to the shop, turned the heater on. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit in here. I have got the sprayer in here. I'm going to go through it, service it. I don't have to put new fuel filters on it because they just came and put a new fuel pump on it, or fuel pump was acting up. So when they did that, they had new fuel filters. So I'm gonna save the ones that I got for it. Let's see, I'm gonna service it, grease it, check the air in the tires. Can't really do anything with the nozzles. It's got antifreeze in it, but none of them leak. But I'm sure when you start the next year, you'll find one that's bad here or there. So clean the cab out, wax the hood, same routine, and change all the hydraulic filters. Just go through it. I like the updater for a 4045. So, but you got to get what you want out of these things, I guess, to do that. I don't know what they're worth. It's a good sprayer. It's just kind of outgrown it. She does have the G5 in her. I did put one of them in there. I do like that. So, but yeah, that's what's going on. It's cold. I'm going to warm up in front of the heat, get all the filters out of the box back here, and go to it. And then I guess I'll get started. But for right now, I'm going to warm up a little bit in front of that bad boy because the inside of the shop is colder than the outside, it feels like. But yeah, get rolling with her. I did over the weekend. I got the spreader done, got it moved out, everything moved around. My brother said the Bobcat, we got a 320D Deere Bobcat, it's starting to act up. Come to find out, it was just about out of fuel. And there's a fuel gauge in it. So I filled it up with fuel, changed the fuel filters. Runs like a brand new one now. Got him loaded, got him strapped down, so a load of straw. I didn't show it though, because with the Bobcat, you're moving around so much. But got that done, then kind of relaxed yesterday. Watched football. I see the Ravens lost. They dropped. Ravens actually beat themselves. They dropped every ball, fumbled. They lost that game all by themselves. So I don't know. All right, so I got the new oil filter on, got the new air filter in. Like I'm saying, you can see they just put a brand new fuel pump on this thing, 2 new fuel filters. You have a little one here, and there's the main one. So not gonna fool with them. Them things are probably $100 a piece. So there's no sense in changing them. I do have them, but I'm gonna just save them. But new fuel pump, and this has been a good machine. If anybody wants to buy it, $150,000. 1,000 gallons, 100-foot boom. I don't think it's got but like 1,700 hours on it. But I'm going to service it. I've already got the oil drain filter done, air filter. It does have a new pump on it. We put a new pump on it like a year or 2 ago. So, we'll get her all serviced, greased, cam cleaned out, and that'll be pretty much it on her. Now I gotta dump the oil in, so get that done anyway. I let it drain for a while, make sure I got every last drop of the old oil out, being it's cold. There you go. I got in, started her up after I did it, and it said there's a software update, so it's downloading that right now. So that don't take long. I really love I like the G4, but I really love the G5. It is a nice screen. Turn the key to all position, wait 60 seconds, and then restart your vehicle. The G5 is really nice. It's basically kind of the same as the G4, I guess, but it's a lot bigger, clearer, because I got the G4 and the spreader. They're both nice, but the G5 it's really nice. So turn it off for a minute and then turn it back on. So we'll see what happens. All right, I got it serviced, can clean. I got all the hubs, all the oil in them changed. Everything is completely done on her except for greasing it. And I'm not going to grease it. I know it sounds stupid, but it's supposed to be like 5 degrees the next 3 or 4 days, and I don't want that grease to get real hard. And we're not going to use it for a couple months. So I'm just going to wait till we pour her out. When it warms up, hit the grease so it gets all in there, because even though I've had the heat on, it's still cold in the shop. The grease and the grease guns have been sitting there all night in 15-degree weather. So I'm going to grease her when we pour out, when it starts to warm up in April. So that's the game plan. But she's done. I'm going to go over and see if I can get both 8Rs started. If I can, I'm going to back them in here. They'll both fit in here sideways, or off to the side each one, and then I can work on them to the rest of the week. But knocking out this equipment pretty quick, so it don't take long just to change oil, service stuff. If you just go and do it, get it done. So that's her. So we're gonna go in here and change the season for my brother. It's on 24, so you just put it to 25. And then we're going to, let's see, work setup, 25, application, trigger PTO. Trying to figure out how to get the, let's see here, applications. Let's go to work. We're going to reset the counters because it's going to be a new year. Set up, already got that done. Work totals. He went 539 acres for cutting ditch banks. It's pretty funny. Mapping. Let's see here. Coverage. Let's do new work. Alright, so that clears that. Now it's all good. We just got to do the same thing to my tractor, clear it all out. I'm actually going to shut the heater down because I'm done for today. That way I don't waste any diesel fuel more than I need to. So we'll get the other one in here. Good morning. It is the day after Trump's. Good morning. It is the day after President Trump took office. I worked yesterday, as you saw earlier in this video, but I made it home in time to watch him. And I watched him sign all of his executive orders, stuff like that. Made me pretty happy. There was a couple I wish he had signed on the little bit more First and Second Amendment rights. I wish he had signed that. I wish he had abolished ATF. All the dumb stuff they do, but other than that, pretty impressed with everything he signed. I am glad that he pardoned the January 6th people. I think that was a setup anyway. And you can't fault him for pardoning it because Biden at the very last minute pardoned his whole family. So you can't, fair is fair. So whatever. But anyway, I got both 8335Rs in here. And they were actually washed before we put them away, but they've been sitting in the building for probably a month or two. And with the cats walking on them, the birds pooping on them, the dust, they're dirty. So what my goal is today is going to be just servicing them. I'm going to do a full service, clean the cams out, and that's probably going to be it for each one of them. And it's like 4 degrees outside, so they're not going to get pressure washed today and washed off. But my goal was to paint the frames, wheels, touch both of them back up again, wax them. But as you can see, they're dirty. Even though we clean them, they're just dusty. So I'm not going to do that until I think later in the week it warms up a little bit. I mean, warms up from what it actually is today. But then I'm going to give them both a bath, and I'm going to pull them right back in here. And while they're both side by side, I'm going to hit them with the spray gun. I'm not going to use spray bomb. It takes too many spray bombs. But with the gun and the paint, I can knock them both out quick, touch them back up, make them look really good. They're not bad. They just need that little overcoating to really spruce them back up. I mean, I know you got guys out there that are buying the new 8Rs, like 8R 370, 8R, but we can't afford a $657,000 tractor. And even if we could, I wouldn't buy one. I mean, the price, like I say about everything else, the price of them is just stupid. There's no tractor worth that. You know, if you could find good used 8R 370s or 410s for about $200,000, then it's worth updating them. But a lot of the used ones I see are like $400,000 to $500,000 for a used tractor. Nah. I mean, that's even high for a new tractor, $400,000. And people keep paying it like they can care less. So these right here work great for us. And until the prices come down, these are the tractors that we're going to be rolling with. Here's all the filters for them. That's probably about $2,000 a piece if you had to buy them from Deere for each tractor. This is for this one. This is for my brother's. I think there's 2 filters, according to Greg, that we're missing. So I'll probably get them today. And but I think I got enough to get started. I think they were just like air filters or something. I think it's long. Actually, you know what it is? Looking at them. And that's how well you know your equipment. You know what filters to take. I'm missing the long cab filters. And that's the ones that go right here. See that little turn thing? The whole thing right there, the up and down is the filter. That's the ones that I'm missing now that I'm looking at what I got here. So that's not a big deal. We can get that anytime. I do got to, if you remember, the DPF filter in here on my tractor last planting season clogged up and shut the whole tractor down. John Deere wanted like 22 or 23,000 to put a new filter in it. And I actually called around and found a place in Milford, Delaware that does it. So we pulled it off, took it up to them. They pressed the old one out, put a new one in for $2,000. So we saved about 20 grand. And it's an OEM filter. The guy was like, this is the same stuff that Deere buys. They're just marking it up 20 grand. So I think I took it apart, but I did get Deere. I got Steve to come down, a tractor guy. Now he did put it back together, and that was just because I wanted to make sure it was put back in the way, you know, because it sat for what, a month in the field. If you remember the videos, it sat for like a month. And in that month, I kind of forgot how I took it apart. So I got him to put that back together. So I probably got about $3,500 in it all together versus they wanted like 22, 23,000, and that wasn't even for all the labor or anything. That was just for like the filter and stuff. Started up, ran perfect. Haven't had a problem with it. So if you want to save 20 some grand and you got a problem, then just message me on here. I'll give you the contact. I can't think off the top of my head. If you go back in our earlier videos around October, you'll see where we did this and I mentioned what it was. So I had to hook, I was still planting soybeans, so I had to hook my brother's tractor up to the planter, and it's never planted because we always use mine. So I had to switch to fold box. He does have a G5 in his, like I have in mine. That was nice. It's got section control and all that. But I had to put my planter box in it, and I had to take all my power supplies that run my planter and switch them over because she didn't have it on there. So that was a lot of work. So what I did was I got the new stuff, the harnesses that go to the planter, and I put them back on here, and I left them on there because it's a nightmare running that stuff through the frame and everything for the batteries. That way they'll both always be set up now to run either planter. I think there is one thing on here for the corn planter that tractor doesn't have, but hopefully we never have to worry about that. It's some kind of switch that runs something. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I got to take the fold box out of that and put back into this one. I do got two fold boxes, one for the corn planter, one for the bean planter, but the bean planter actually runs both planters. So instead of me having two fold boxes in here, I just use the planter or the bean planter fold box, and that actually runs both planters, which that's what I like. That is very nice. Now, if I had two bean planter boxes, because the corn box and the bean box is different because I have split rows on the bean planter, but it still runs the corn planter. If I had two of them, I would leave that one in and just have one in here. That way it'll hook either tractor or hook up to either planter. But this is a planting tractor. I do the planting, and I want the box in mine. Although I did like, this one's got the IVT transmission, and I despise it any other time going down the road or anything like that because you got to use the brake so much on these tractors. She's got the power shift. I'd never touch the brake. But this IVT, even though you can slow it down, you still got to use the brake every now and then, like when you're backing up or something. And versus this one, I don't have to. And I don't like that because it's going to eventually wear these brakes out. We're going to have to pull all this crap off and change it. But the IVT for planting, I will admit, is a better tractor transmission for pulling a planter. You can set your speed perfect. Like, you know, normally I plant 8th gear for corn, 7th, 8th gear, and then soybeans I plant 9th. But there's a big difference between those gears, those 3 gears, for speed-wise. You just can't get it perfect, the speed you actually want. Like either one's too fast or one's too slow. But that IVT, where you can dial that bad boy into the perfect setting, now I really like that. That's one thing about that IVT I do like for planting. Other than that, I despise it. I hate it for road travel. I despise it for road travel. I do feel like the power shift has more horsepower, it seems like. I don't know if the IVT lags in that or something, but they both got quite a bit of horsepower. They pull everything we have, but you can just tell a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and get the oil drained in them. And like I said, it was 8 degrees last night. Got the heat on. I should actually start them up, let them warm up for a little bit to get the oil hot, but I'm not going to do nothing but this today, so I don't care how long it takes to drain. I'll go ahead and drain them. Get the filters changed while it's draining. Put everything back together. Don't boil in them, and that's the main goal today, is just get the oil changed in them. Alright, so I got the oil drain on my brother's tractor. It's draining slow, it's cold, but it's working. The drain plug is part of the frame. I got my tractor done, other than I got to change the 2 fuel filters. I got the new oil filter. I got oil in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and service his. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and change the air filters on her and get all this done. And it's so cold that the heater is actually struggling to keep up with this shop. It is still cold in this shop. I mean, it's not freezing cold like it is outside, but it's not getting very warm. So I think it's 12 degrees. That's what the temperature says anyway. I think the wind chill is probably a lot colder, but it's cold. So I'm gonna get this stuff done and be done today. Morning. Once again, we got snow. All the snow had just gone away, but of course we had to get more. And I'm really sick of snow and cold weather. I don't know how people in Minnesota and all that do it. It's really getting on my nerves. It's just cold. I mean, I guess some people are used to it up there, but whew. So I got the tractor service yesterday. I'm not going to work long because it is freezing cold, but I'm probably going to clean the cabs out this morning. I'm going to turn the heater on and get warm in front of it. I like that. But I'm going to get the cabs cleaned out. Probably just fiddle for an hour or two because it's pretty cold today. So, and we're going to get busy soon enough that it's not going to really matter. So I'll just tinker. So like, subscribe, share. It's the end of the video. You'll see more in the next video, but right now it's just cold and we don't have one of them. This shop was built in the 70s. We don't have one of them new Larson Farm shops where it's 200 foot by 200 foot with heated floors and everything else. So there you go. See you later.